Welcome to From Store to Impact, where we talk about the stories of our lives. I'm your host, Steve Gallegos, and this show is produced by the Voices of Impact Awards. If this is your first time watching this video or listening to the podcast version, I'm super excited, genuinely super excited that you're here. The Voices of Impact Awards was created to celebrate the voices that inspire humanity. And when we say voices, we're talking about voices from people like you with experiences and lessons learned that can help others do better and be better in their careers, their businesses, and in their relationships. Now, we all have a favorite story, the one that motivates us, the one that makes us laugh, the one that makes us cry. And it is these stories that connect us together as humans. So to learn more and apply for your chance to be a finalist and possibly win $20,000 in cash and a book publishing contract from Morgan James Publishing, go to voiawards.com and become one of our storytellers. We look forward to meeting you there. And speaking of stories, my guest today is a storyteller from the word go, actually from the word send it. Mr. Jeff Lavin is in our virtual studio today, and I'm so excited to bring him here today because the guy is super fun, super accomplished, super fun, super accomplished. And what more can I say other than he's super fun and he's super accomplished, right? He's known as the Shredneck from his days as a professional snowboarder. He's a best-selling author, and he's a free-range human, and he'll explain a little bit about that. I think it means that he's got a lot of pasture to roam in, and he uses the entire world as his pasture, as you'll hear here in a second. Anyway, just a fabulous, fabulous individual. He's one of our official resource partners at the Voices of Impact Awards, and I'm super proud to call him my friend, Jeff Lavin. Welcome to the studio, Jeff.
Hey, thanks so much, Steve. My pleasure. Wicked stoked to chat it up with you, man.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for making the time. I know that you are constantly traveling, you're constantly doing things and connecting people and just living life, as some would say, to the fullest, although I think that's kind of living life to the fullest. It's kind of a cliche, but truly, I mean, a lot of people that I know, and I know quite a few people, you're one of those that, as tightly as we're connected, I don't know if you're going to be in the United States, in Europe, in Central America, or somewhere in between, right? Because you're always on the go. Where are you right now physically?
So right now, physically, I'm spending time with my family out here in Maine. One of my favorite times of year is the foliage time. We get the leaf change with the colors. Right now, we're approaching peak season up north, and then that'll slowly trickle down to like southern Maine. But there's no better place to catch these amazing, beautiful colors than out here in New England. And then you got all the, Halloween's coming up. So you have all the stuff like the Salem witch trials and stuff like that, and all the cool stuff that goes, around that. So this is one of my favorite times to come back here, get some lobsters. Lobsters are like $4 a pound out here. So you get them super dirt cheap. So I get my fill of lobster rolls and clam chowder and all that. It's the best time of year to be out here.
Dude,
Nobody does fall better than New England.
you are truly living the life. Good for you for being out there in New England. New England in the fall is absolutely stunning. We haven't been there, but it's on our list of places where we want to go and spend some time. And hopefully you'll be out there at the same time and we can go find some lobster together.
Oh, I'm always out here, and like whether you guys want a tour guide up towards Sugarloaf, one of my favorite home mountains out here, where I spent a lot of time growing up and kind of cut my teeth, as a pro rider, where I learned a lot of stuff. Love going out there towards the fall, or if you're more of a coastal person, there's a lot of beautiful stuff up towards down east. They call it down east because that's the way the trade winds blow. If you're a sailor, they blow down and then to the east. So it's a beautiful time. So heck yeah, would love it if you guys came out here.
How fun. How fun for you. How fun for your family. Now, you split time between Maine. I know that you spend a lot of time in Nevada. You have friends or family there. And I know you have friends and family here in Denver. And you also have friends and family in Utah, in San Diego. And where don't you have friends?
Wisconsin. I'd say,
Wisconsin, right.
yeah, Wisconsin. I grew up in Wisconsin. It's really cool to walk into any establishment and people say, "Oh, welcome back home."
Yeah, welcome back home. You're
Welcome
like
back
that.
home.
Remember that show Cheers? And it's when you walk in and what would it Norm, right? They would say Norm when he walked into
Norm,
the bar at
Norm.
Cheers. They say now they say
Yeah,
Jeff, where you been? Yeah,
Jeff.
fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous. Listen, you are people call you the shred neck. Now, when I first heard that, I thought it was kind of a relative term to the Marines are called leatherneck. And I know that you tried getting into the Marine Corps and weren't able to do that. But where does the name Shredneck come from? What's that relate to?
So shredneck, snowboarders, surfers, skaters, we're called shredders because you
Shredding
shred the
this.
gnar.
Got
Yeah,
it.
you,
Got it.
you, you shred the gnar, bro. Uh, you send it that way. So yeah, shredders, and then redneck. So skateboarders, snowboarders, surfers, we're all like kind of influenced by music and stuff and pop culture out there of what's kind of cool and trending. And I never really fit into that whole trend. I was more of a redneck because I grew up on farms and stuff like that in Wisconsin. I grew up with trucks and working on cars and fishing and hunting. And there was one time I showed up at Breckenridge and all my hunting gear because we went hunting the day or the really early in that morning around like 4 a.m. So we were out hunting and then just decided to go put on my boots and go take a victory lap for the big old kill that we got. And then just people started kind of calling me that. I didn't really give myself that name. They just said, "Hey, you're a shredneck." It just stuck. It's one of those nicknames, and sometimes we get those annoying nicknames like Mark Sanchez. Everybody knows him as a butt fumble. He'll be known that for the rest of his life. He'll never live that down. But
That's
me, I
pretty
was like,
sad.
"Oh, the shredneck. Yeah, cool." You know what though? He's laughing all the way to the bank with that. Every time somebody says butt fumble, he'll forever be known as the
Yeah.
guy that's a butt fumble. He'll always have a job, or he could give a speech on that butt fumble thing. But for me, it was just the guy that was showing up as, had my hunter hat on, my blaze orange, and I just proceeded to drop a couple runs that were just nasty. Spun one way, spun the other way, and they're like, "Oh wait, you ripped, dude." It just stuck from there. And then every year after we'd get a deer and elk or whatever, wherever I was living at the time, we'd always go take the victory lap, me and my crew. So it was kind of the party in the Red Sea of that. And I can always keep like 50 pounds. I can't keep any more than that. So I had a lot of friends that wanted free elk or deer meat or
Yeah.
free fish. We could only keep about 15 a day in Tahoe with kokanee season. So I'd always bring extra people with me, or you'd always try and give some of that away. Just help your friends, help your family, help your community. So
Absolutely.
shredneck kind of got to become popular, and then geez, there's a right around the time like we had a whole crew called the Shrednecks, where we all wore our safety vests and stuff like that. We all rode together. That's kind of like our biker gang thing. Yellow, the yellow safety vests, and sometimes they'd get you into concerts for free.
How fun, how fun. It seems like you've lived, kind of like a cat, they say has nine lives. And in this case, Jeff has, 11 or 12 lives because you've been a snowboarder, right? And we're talking professional snowboarding, not just a weekend shredder, if you will. Surfer, you're a best-selling author, you're an inspirational speaker and brand founder, and you brand yourself as an adventurepreneur. What does that mean? What's the significance of that?
I So Steve, I love wordplay, shredneck, redneck, and that one was gifted to me. Adventurepreneur is just one I came up with, especially when everything shut down. And it was a way that I tried to just explain digital nomad. Digital nomad sounds cool, it sounds sexy, but being an entrepreneur, an adventurer, just sounds way more cool.
Hmm.
So I started taking those two together and just plugging them in. So adventurepreneur, I'm always out adventuring things. Like I was talking, I think I was talking with Alethea where I was saying, yeah, I'm ready to get back to normal. Jumping out of planes and downhill mountain biking and snowboarding, big mountain and stuff like that. And everybody kind of laughs like, wow, your normals, you got a pretty cool normal.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
It's an extreme normal for by most standards, right? Those of us who have offices and, regular jobs and those kinds of things. And you are certainly living the dream that a lot of people would like to live. But it's not by accident, right? This is something that you've done intentionally. You've intentionally set up your life to be like this, and that you just kept um, adding one thing on top of the other that kind of complements the whole package of how you serve entrepreneurs and other high performers that want to not only live the kind of lifestyle you have, but to have the success, right? To generate the money, to build the companies, and to make an impact on society. Right. What kind of people do you work with in your adventurepreneurism?
the
Your
adventurepreneurial
training,
space.
because you
Yeah,
provided coaching and training,
yeah,
right? And so, yeah, what kind of
yeah.
people do you work with?
So I mean, these are ADHD. Oh, look, squirrel. D. A lot of them are in that space where they're like, "Oh my God, I can't sit still." They're the kinesthetic people, the people who learn by moving, and they uh, they function well, like after doing like movement and stuff like that. So we'll go out there and we'll go snowboard, and then we'll go talk about our businesses. Typically, they're people that are also they're stuck. I've been stuck before too, where I coined it the chief everything officer with a pain in the ass. So my favorite thing to do is help them go from chief everything officer with a pain in the ass to CEO with an asset, taking them from owner operator into ownership, where they're free and they can come take these fun adventures and do fun stuff with me. Like, well, we work on our business, but typically what I've found is they're hesitant to kind of give up that role at first, where they think it's always better if I do it myself. I have to do everything. Nobody does it better than me. So there's a lot of stuff that we kind of have to go through and through. Like it starts with mindset and, like getting rid of a lot of those limiting beliefs, identifying those, and then releasing a lot of those limiting beliefs, and then building a lot of stuff around those. And then from there, once we kind of clear up the mindset, then it's building systems and processes around them. Kind of the boring stuff, but it's really where I thrive, just because I love setting them free. Systems and processes, stuff that you can automate and dominate. And then from there, it's a human capital, but it's really about one, first making sure they're aligned with their true north, and that their mind, body, spirit, everything's aligned. And then from there, it's really where the magic happens. We have that true north, and then it's charting your navigational path, or your chart, as we call it in the boating world. And then from there, it's hiring a crew, and that's when you're unstoppable. Once you have all that, you're scalable, you're free. Because I think at the end of the day, um, we're just such a transactional society. Um, where yeah, it's awesome. Our mind can actually like fix a lot of these equations, and we're kind of moving towards more of a transformational society, and that's where the magic happens. I like to help them on the transformational level and ultimately the transmutational, where you can take that one negative side and turn it into the upside, and from there, between all three of those in the trifecta, I call that transcendence, where you're kind of in that happy, awesome flow state.
Absolutely. How wonderful that you're able to do that. And I can see now as you're describing how you work with these executives and entrepreneurs that want to level up, right, to whatever level that is, how taking them on adventures is kind of your pattern interrupting, right, which is one of the things that I learned during my training with Tony Robbins as a strategic intervention trainer, is we got to go in and interrupt the patterns. And I love the way you do it is by saying, hey, CEO, CFO, whoever you are, CMO, entrepreneur, you're the one that cleans the toilets and you serve the customers and you do the books all at once. Come out, let's have an adventure, because that allows them to kind of escape the day-to-day routine. And it's by taking them out of that box that they've put themselves in that they give themselves the freedom to think, right? And to ask new questions and to see things in a way that they hadn't before, simply because they've gone surfing or cycling or hiking or, sky gliding, hang gliding, or, parasailing, or whatever it is that you want them to do, right?
Yeah. Well, it's more of what do they want to do,
What do
and
they
it's
want to do?
more
Okay.
what do they want to do. We kind of set the destinations. It's what do they want to do. It's the group dynamics of the group kind of sets the tone for the dynamics. It's what I've come to learn. You don't want to push people way, 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 way outside of their comfort zone. You
Right,
want to
right.
push them outside just a little bit, and then it's the group collectively, they push themselves a little bit further beyond that. But the group kind of sets the tone for it, and then you're just kind of there holding space for the group and kind of being the guide
Yeah.
with the adventures and with the extreme activities.
How wonderful, because I can imagine that a group, once they get a little bit of confidence, right, and they get to know each other a little bit, then they start egging each other on, they start pushing each other, and that's when you, as the coach, the facilitator of this experience, you get to see true transformation, and you're watching them transcend from, stuffy CFO, this is the way I do things, to now, oh my gosh, look at what else I can do, right, with these systems and processes that you help them put in place, which you say they're boring, but that's where the rubber meets the road, right? Because there's a lot of people that say, I want to be in business, I want to grow in business. And first thing you ask is, what's your plan? I don't know. I'm just going to go out and make pizzas and sell them. No, you still got to have a plan, right?
Oh yeah, you still got to have a plan, and you still got to think backwards from that plan. We all graduate. Case in point, we all graduate high school. You have years, semesters, quarters, and then you can kind of break it up in between those sub areas. And you want to have a look, a really big 100x at the at excuse me, you want to have the wide angle view, 100x, where you're kind of zoomed out at the whole like macro view, and then you want to zoom in 100x to the micro views, and every little inch, it's small steps lead to massive victories at the end of the day.
Indeed, absolutely. How super fun. Now, Jeff, we met well before this particular project, the Voices of Impact Awards, and well before launching this show. As you know, the Voices of Impact Awards is all about stories and stories that inspire humanity. And you have bunches of stories from your years on the mountain slopes and in the water and all the other amazing things that you've done. What is to you, what is the meaning of stories? In other words, why are stories so powerful in from your perspective?
I didn't say this and I didn't make this up, but I've always heard facts tell, stories sell. And it's people relate with that, and especially if you can interconnect all the facts really well within storytelling. And you look at some of the most amazing people out there, some of the most amazing leaders, they're telling stories. Maybe they're telling it from a future tense of what we're going to do, like JFK, where we're going to put a man on the moon. Why? Because it's there. He's essentially telling that story. You look at all the amazing leaders out there where they've said, hey, this is where I've come from, or all our whole lives. Even the Bible, there's stories and stuff interwoven in that. And it's so key, because stories, we're all hardwired just to remember stories. Where unless you're somebody that's absolutely data driven, super analytical, you're not going to remember too many of those facts. And who's really going to pay attention to something that's just facts without the stories? I mean, we go to movies to go see stories.
Mhm.
You listen to music, there's stories. We go to events and stuff like that to bring back stories to apply and ultimately shape our lives.
Exactly. Shape our lives. The stories connect us. And that was one of the things that, I don't quite remember how you and I met. Sure, we were introduced, but one of the things that impacted me first about you was the stories. I said, tell me, where's Jeff Lavin been? Who is he, right? And you immediately start launching into this story about your days as a snowboarder and how you got, all these brands coming to you for assistance in marketing, and then you get into building your own snowboards and launching a company around that, and running for Congress in California, and just all these wonderful things. Share with us one of your favorite stories from all of your adventures, one of the favorite stories that you love to share on stage.
I love sharing this because it always gets people laughing. So there I was, Mount Hood, 2005. I was out there competing in a competition, and geez, I think we made the trip like a night or two before, and we were camping. So I mean, we are limited on stuff we could eat and stuff we could drink, and we had a few of those. It was either Hams or Rainier beer out there. We had a few of those kind of the night before, and then going into the jumps the next day, we were out there for ASJ as a summertime competition. This happened like towards the end of June, July. Mount Hood actually, it's a glacier, so it's a glacier snowfield where it holds snow year round out in Oregon. So we're out there for this competition, and I remember they had to put the salt down because the jumps get all slushy, and the snow kind of gets super super soft and super slow. So they wanted to go fast. So I'm going out there for my first run after they just iced everything down. I had kind of my practice warm ups and stuff like that. So this is where it gets good. There I was, I hit the jump. I go in, throw my do a spin this way, 540 this way, land, and then I go do a backside seven truck driver, and I completely overshoot that jump. And I go board, butt, and then kind of lay down. I'm like, all right, run back up because I'm all amped up on adrenaline. You're in a competition. You're with some of the best people out there. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's get the second run out really quick. So I go do the same 540 off the first jump, go into the second jump, throw a setup carve, kind of a speed check, shave off a little speed. Backside seven, same truck driver spin. And I'm like, oh no. I felt stuff dripping down my shorts.
Oh,
And then I spin off the jump the next time. I feel it all going into my boots. And then I had two rails to hit. So I spin one way on this rail, do a 270, and then do another board slide down the rail. I didn't even listen to my score. I just ran to the porta potty and took a utility knife and cut everything off. And it was a giant mess. And I ended up going down and taking the jump in the lake and just getting rid of all my gear. So the motto of the story is we all got crap, literally or metaphorically. Don't let a little bit of crap
oh
hold
my
you
goodness.
down or hold you back.
Oh my goodness. I've never heard anything like that before. That is incredible. So how did you finish overall the race, the competition? Did you place?
Oh, I got top 10.
Yeah.
I got top 10, which I was like, all right. It was respectable because there's a lot of heavy hitters
As
out there at that time.
as you approach the podium wrapped in a towel.
Wrapped in the towel. Yeah. Oh man, that
Wow.
was I've talked to a lot of other guys where one of my buddies, he's always had issues with backside rodeo where he's kind of like it kind of throws you into, if you set that trick a little weird, it'll send you more into a flip, and you can almost go around a second time, or you can really butt check on that one. And he said he's had accidents a couple times. And
Wow.
one of my other friends said, "Yeah, you're not pushing it snowboarding unless you completely crap your pants."
Wow.
Um, and you look at some of the there's like Team Dookie out there forever, where there's a bunch of riders in the early '90s that I read about, where yeah, you push it hard, you land from high heights and hit certain areas. You can't always hold it back,
Wow.
but thus is life.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the sport too, because I never knew that those kinds of experiences took place for the competitors. That's fascinating. But what I love about you sharing that story is that, and I'm sure you've got, many, many, many other similar or types of, different types of stories, is that you're able to draw from it, right? You're able to draw lessons from that, right? I mean, one obvious lesson could be careful what you eat for breakfast or lunch in front of a competition, right? Because that would affect your performance and, your bodily functions as you're trying to do these tricks and those kinds of things. But the other one is that, how you dealt with it, right? Is you didn't let it stop your performance. You probably at some point realized, oh, something's going on here. I know what it is. but you have to push that out of your mind really quick because you're in the middle of it and you're in the middle of delivering um, a performance. You're still wanting to do your best. And so you can't stop right there and just say, sorry, guys, I got to go home. But that's a great lesson for leadership and entrepreneurs that when they confront a challenge, when they confront an obstacle, things aren't going their way. Sometimes you shouldn't just stop. You got to keep going and plow through it. Do you agree?
Absolutely. What's that saying from Back to the Future? You put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And for every problem, there's a solution. And this is another one that I kind of took away from a cousin. And this was said by my great uncle: stay calm, stay present, stay calm, and stay present. We're all dealing with stuff at home or stuff at work or stuff in our businesses, but we stay calm, stay present, we'll get through it. And sometimes it's a crappy situation, but what's that saying? This too
Pardon the
shall
pun.
pass. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's sometimes you got those bad situations, but this too shall pass. Staying calm, staying present, it's helped me a lot.
Very good. Well, you're fortunate that your nickname wasn't tied to that particular event.
Oh, it very well could have been.
Yeah.
My nickname came out a little bit before that event, but yeah, that could have gone one or two ways.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Jeff, as you know, the here at the Voices of Impact Awards, we're inviting members of the public. They don't have to have any speaking experience. They can be emerging speakers or even executives, first responders, healthcare workers, doctor, lawyer, that know they have something of value that they want to share, but have never really given much thought to, hey, I want to be a speaker, right? Or I want to write a book. What would you say to an individual like that? Because we all have value, we all matter. What would you say to them to encourage them to step forth and share their story with the world? Why would that be important?
Well, there's always my two words that'll change your life. Send it.
Send
Those
it.
very two words. Yeah. I mean, it's what's Mel Robbins has the 5 second rule or something
Yeah,
like
the
that.
five
I
second
think
rule.
it takes, yeah, it takes, how long does it take to say send it? 1 or 2 seconds. So, sometimes you got to say, screw it, let's do it. Um, there's no better time than right now to share your story, especially for the older generation out there. Like this could be a legacy. This is your chance to be heard and be heard by everyone, and leaving that lasting impact. And people my age, this is a great time to kind of be in that stage of influence where we can speak up and we can speak down. And finally, we're still cool enough to be accepted by that younger generation, but also you're still cool enough to be accepted by your mom and dad's generation. It's a great time to be alive, but also younger generation. You guys, you're going to make an impact in this world right now. um, I've always said it's our generation that's going to kind of set the foundation, but it's really the Generation Z out there that's going to absolutely make a difference and completely change and revolutionize the world. So this is your chance to be heard and to be respected by people my age, which I don't know. People still say, "How the heck are you 40?" If you talk like one of us, um, yeah, like this is your chance to hear that. And this is your chance to be respected by your grandparents and just to be heard, to get your message out there. And shoot, when I wanted to be a speaker, I mean, I got lucky enough to where Oakley was having me speak or Monster was having me speak, at events, schools, and stuff like that, various other things. So I was lucky to have that to segue into speaking. But nowadays, if you want to get into speaking, there's so many hurdles, and you got to have like 5 figures or 20, $30,000 out there. This is your opportunity for a low cost, low entry point, low risk to completely go out there and send it. And there's no better stage right now that's really out there leveling the playing field where, geez, somebody said, in regard to like, there's a lot of high ticket stuff out there. somebody said, serve the masses, live with the classes. And yeah, I'm a big believer in that. My just my motto in my life, my life's purpose. It goes a lot beyond like religion and theology. It says I have to do whatever I can with whatever I can, however I can, to make a difference and make an impact. And this is your chance to kind of have the same motto, to take this and to go so much further beyond this. And with such a awesome opportunity at such a low cost. I mean, this is what somebody would go out to eat and spend. So you have nothing to lose. And for me, I'd be like, where's the matter? Send it. So I'd just be clicking send it right there and entering my
Send
information, entering my my credit card information, and then uploading my awesome content. And even if you're unsure, do it anyways. Do it anyways because the person you become by stepping in fear, it's a game changer. Action cures fear.
Action cures fear. And you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen, action. And this is a true action hero right here. I mean, he's done it, the surfing, the snowboarding, the cycling, and all the other things that Jeff has done on an extreme level, not just as casual riders that we might be, right, on the weekends. So thank you for that, Jeff. I love what you said about, the importance of sharing your story. And for many, many people, this is a chance for them to leave their legacy, as you said, right? It's to, you've lived life, you've lived a full life, you've had ups and downs like most of us do, like all of us do, really. But what are you going to leave us with, right? What are you going to leave the world with? What are you going to leave the current generations and then future generations with? This is a chance to do that because once you appear on this program, your talk is going to be recorded, and your message is going to be shared with the world. And unless the internet goes up in smoke, which I don't see that, at least not in my lifetime, and maybe not even yours, Jeff, it's not going to happen. So you're going to have this opportunity without writing a book, without, as Jeff said, spending 30, 40, $50,000 to try and get on a stage. It's a simple way for you to make a contribution that's going to last and that's going to change somebody's life. Jeff, final question. As an official resource partner of our program, thank you for stepping up and locking arms with us and agreeing to mentor our audience. They're going to get a free gift from you. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So there's a couple things. One, my book. It's a best-selling book right now. Get awesome, above and beyond, where passions meet purpose. I'm giving you you can click and download it, free PDF for that.
Yay.
Within that, there's some other cool stuff. Also, we're throwing in the Adventurepreneur community where you're in and you're part of that. You can see all the cool interactions. We have a really cool Facebook group where other people can connect with everybody, and everybody's kind of on Facebook. And if Facebook's not your thing, don't worry, you got Instagram, and there's that as well too. We're constantly uploading and updating content. Then as well, we have our coaching team. So there's a call with that too, just to kind of, clarity call where we help you set your purpose and stuff like that, and kind of ask questions and guide as well too. And then also there's a connection with me as well too, where you can book on my calendar. So throwing in a lot of cool stuff, and just really excited to see this. I believe in making an impact, and this is my opportunity to make an impact. And if it helps you guys, click that button right there. Then heck yeah, be excited. You're invited.
Be excited, you're invited. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. You are just a phenomenal businessman, a superhero in real life, I think, from all the activities that you've done, and more so the people that you're helping, that you've helped. in a very unstructured way. And so I know that a lot of our audience members are going to find you refreshing. They're going to love wanting to connect with you and wanting to work with you and go on one of these adventures. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the program or if you're listening to this on our podcast, you can connect with Jeff Lavin by going to the Voices of Impact Awards at voiawards.com/Jeff Lavin. And you'll be able to see his page. You'll be able to get a free gift from Jeff. He mentioned it's his best-selling book, which is a phenomenal book that is full of information for leaders and entrepreneurs who want to elevate their lives and just make more impact through the businesses by becoming better people. Right. You're going to get to enjoy his and be part of his Adventurepreneur community. Be invited to the activities that he's having. And hey, you might even learn to snowboard at the same time, or maybe be a part of Jeff's company. I know you mentioned the other day, Jeff, that you were thinking of going back into making snowboards. Is that right?
I say that all the time. I really miss it right now. And one of the big things I took away, and it's the big joke in the ski industry, if you want to make a little bit of money, or you want to make some money in the ski industry, start with a lot of money. So
Yes, start with a lot of money. Yeah.
start with a lot
Yeah.
of money. So, and it's one of those things where I've tossed around the idea of just doing it more as a passion project, and not really, because I'm kind of at that stage right now where I can kind of have a passion project, and if it makes money, awesome. For a while there, that was my main gig. So that was, that kept the lights on, that kept food on the table, but now it's on the back burner. But I'm leaving the doors open.
Leaving
And
the
I've
door
taken a
open.
break from making boards, taken a break for the last couple of years from the snowboard industry, but that door is always wide open, and it's given me a lot. So whatever I can do to give back, and it'll always be my community. It gave me so much.
Very good. So if you're watching out there and you're interested in making snowboards and you want someone to make them with, Jeff just said the door is open. So I would definitely call on him to do that, because you might just be launching a brand new enterprise with a master, someone that knows the snowboard industry inside and out. And that's Mr. Jeff Lavin. Jeff, I'm so grateful that you were here with us today. I truly appreciate your time. I truly appreciate the contributions you're making to the Voices of Impact Awards as a mentor, and just grateful to have you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Stephen. Thanks so much for building this stage and creating everything you're doing. I totally, wholeheartedly, and the world needs more of this, especially right now.
You're absolutely right about that, my friend. Thank you again. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our this particular episode. I'm Steve Gallegos, your host with the Voices of Impact Awards. And I'm so grateful that you were able to join us and listen in as our friend and mentor and coach, Jeff Lavin, talked to us about the joy of extreme sports, how he takes the lessons and experiences learned from those activities, and he now helps entrepreneurs, other peak performers, and just individuals who want to level up their game by taking them out on these really, really cool adventures to stretch themselves, to get them a little bit out of their comfort zone, all with an eye towards becoming better humans, better parents. Oh, before I go, Jeff, free range humans, right? You're building free range humans. Tell me what that's about real quick.
So free range humans, kind of like what we're talking about there, mind, body, spirit, where we're meant to solve all our transactional problems, and first and foremost, solving all those transactional problems, and creating solutions behind those. So creating a value portfolio, acceleration portfolios with their companies, setting people free so they can focus on being transformational and transmutational and transcend, and not having to have a location, being location anti-centric. So you can go wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go, with whomever you want to go with, whenever you want. I don't know, I've heard it said a few times, so I'm probably messing it up, but you have the freedom. So if you
Right.
want to be on a sailboat for a year, go be on a sailboat for a year. If you want to go, and I've lived this life since 2003, if you want to go back and forth between Maine, Wisconsin, Tahoe, San Diego, all my favorite places, you can do it. And if you want to do it in a truck camper, a van, or by jet, however it is that you want to do it, you can be free. And being a free range human, it's an amazing experience.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have any desire, and I think we all do want to get, just rid of the shackles and go and be a free range human, then I certainly suggest that you contact Jeff Lavin by going to the Voy Awards and checking out his page, making contact with Jeff, and getting everything you need to your systems and processes to become a free range human. Once again, I'm Steve Gallegos. Check out the Voices of Impact Awards. Bring your story to life. Bring your story to the stage. We're giving you that opportunity, and you get a chance to win $20,000 plus a book publishing contract from Morgan James Publishing, which is one of the leaders in the publishing industry. So hopefully you'll do that, and we'll see you there. Thank you.